Okay, so today, guys, we started out class going off of what we did Friday, which was multi-step. So the first problem that we worked was x over 2 minus 3 equals 7 times 2x plus 3. So we always want to distribute first. So 7 times 2x is 14x. 7 times 3 is 21. Bringing everything else down. Next, we want to add the 3. They cancel here. All right, after we do that, we want to multiply by 2 on both sides to all terms. Then we move our x over, our 28x, which gives me, I'm going to move it up here, negative 27x equals 48. Divide both sides by 27. You get a decimal, a very long decimal. So for now, we're going to leave it at negative 48 over 27. Then we worked this one. Always distribute first. 4 times x. 4 times 2. Bring everything else down. Subtract 3. Multiply by 7 on both sides. X equals 28x plus 35. Subtract 28x. Divide both sides by 27. Once again, this cannot be simplified. So we're going to leave it like so. All right, on the next example, it looks different because the sides are swapped. However, it does not make a difference in how I work my problem. So, still going to distribute. 2 times x is 2x. 2 times negative 4 is negative 8. We're bringing everything else down. We are adding 3 to both sides. 2x minus 5 is x over 4. Multiply by 4. These cancel. We are left with 8x minus 20 equals x. I'm going to back up. I added the wrong thing. All right, so minus 8x. Left with negative 20 equals, there's a 1 right here. So 1 minus 8 is a negative 7x. Divide both sides by negative 7. We cannot simplify 20 over 7, but we know that 2 negatives make a positive, so that is my answer. These were bell work problems that we worked, so I'm just going over these rather quickly. All right, so here we're going to distribute again. 3 times 2x is 6x. 3 times negative 1 is negative 3 equals x over 5. You have to multiply by 5 on both sides. They cancel here. 30x minus 15 equals an x. We're going to subtract 30x from both sides. Negative 15 equals negative 29x. We cannot simplify these, but we do know that two negatives make a positive, so we just change our answer to be positive. All right, and then the last one that we worked before class. First thing, distribute. So we have an 8x plus 12 equals 1 minus x over 4. So since the 1 is positive, we're going to subtract it from both sides. You get 8x plus 11 equals negative x over 4. So to get rid of that negative, I'm going to multiply by a negative 4 on both sides. So we have a negative 32x minus 44 equals x. Combine our x's. We're left with negative 44 equals 33x. So then we will divide negative 44 by 33. 11 will go into both, so negative 4 over 3 is our answer. All right, the next thing we did, we started a new lesson today. It was over absolute value. So there are 4 steps to absolute value, and these notes are posted on Teams. So the first step is to isolate the absolute value portion of the equation. This means nothing can be attached on the outside. Now, let's back up. Absolute value uses absolute value bars like this, okay? So nothing can be attached on the outside of those bars. Step 2 is to in order to get rid of the absolute value bars, we must set up 2 new equations. Step 3. One equation will be positive, and the other one will be negative. Step 4, solve each equation and end up with 2 possible solutions. So, all those rules kind of hard to understand, but once you start working the problems, you'll get the hang of it. So, the first example is very, very simple. Okay, absolute value of x is 3. So we want to check, is the absolute value portion of the equation by itself? Yes, completely by itself. There's nothing attached on the outside of it. Okay? Then we go to step 2. Clear the absolute value bars by setting up 2 new equations. What that means is you're going to take this equation, which is really just x, and make one of them positive and one of them negative. So it will turn out like this. X equals 3 and x equals negative 3. Then the last step is to solve, but it's already solved for x, therefore we're done. But on a problem like number 2, we have the absolute value of x minus 2 equals 3. Okay, so is this absolute value by itself? Yes, it is isolated, okay? There's nothing attached on the outside. Things could be on the inside, just not on the outside, okay? So to get rid of the bars, we're going to say x minus 2 equals 3, or x minus 2 equals negative 3. We're going to add 2 to both sides. And we have 2 possible solutions. X equals 5 or x equals negative 1. Another example, the absolute value of x plus 5 is 11. So that absolute value is not completely isolated because there is a 5. So in order to get rid of that 5, we must subtract it. And we're left with the absolute value of x equals 6. Now, is the absolute value bar isolated? Yes. Now we have to get rid of the bars. To get rid of the bars, we take the equation, which is now just x, set 1 equal to a positive 6, and 1 equal to a negative 6. All right, next, we have number 4, or example 4. 3 times the absolute value of x equals 15. Well, notice there's a 3 attached on the outside, so I have to get rid of it. 3 and the absolute value of x are multiplying, so we are going to divide both sides by 3, and we get the absolute value of x is 5. Now, absolute value bars are still there. We have to get rid of them. We use the equation x, set 1 equal to a positive 5, and 1 equal to a negative 5. Number 5, 2x plus 12 equals 4. Is the absolute value by itself, meaning there's nothing on the outside? Yes. So we're going to do 2 things. We're going to take the equation, which is 2x plus 12. We're going to set 1 equal to a positive 4. And 1 equal to a negative 4. Then we solve for x. So I have two completely different solutions, -4 and -8. Now, one thing to know and to remember is that in order to solve absolute values, the number that the equation is set equal to must be positive. So, notice the absolute value is by itself. But notice the number that it's set equal to is a negative number. Okay? This solution right here is automatically no solution because the absolute value cannot be set equal to a negative number. So, this is really all we got to do today. We just kind of touched base on absolute value. However, tomorrow we will work a whole lot more problems and keep on practicing these. So, either get on our Teams call or we will video tomorrow in class. We had some technical difficulties in first block and we're not able to do it in third block. So we will do that tomorrow where you will be able to learn about absolute value.